Blackpool, sun, sea and sand, where traditionally holidaymakers from the UK go for their annual break. But just a few miles down the road in nearby Lytham St Annes, in the local YMCA building, UFO and paranormal enthusiasts are gathering for the return of the Probe Conference. Originally started by Sam and Jean Wright back in the 90s, it continued to flourish, but sadly both Sam and Jean have now passed away. But it's been taken over by their sons, Paul and David, who pulled together a great lineup of speakers, including Frank Willis speaking on aliens breeding humans for food.
What do the aliens want from us? And I started looking at alien abductions, reading John Mack, listening to other people, their experiences. And every time somebody gets abducted, the aliens take something from them, whether it's DNA, whether it's sperm samples, or whatever.
Spotted in the audience was none other than Ben Emlyn-Jones, who was on this occasion not in disguise.
No sun hat, no sunglasses and coof mask, that's right. This conference is going to be a bit different from the last one I attended, where I did have to go incognito.
And how do you think that went down? There's been a bit of controversy surrounding that.
Well, my friends love it and my enemies hate it, which is exactly the response that I wanted. There's been some excellent speakers giving out some very interesting information. Tony Topping, who I know very well and I've seen speak numerous times, he gave a very, very interesting talk about his experiences with aliens, with extraterrestrial contact. That's been a big part of his family life. And he also provided some information from a Russian called Igor Karen, who supposedly has pictures from a parallel universe. Now this I find very, very interesting indeed, not least because in this parallel universe there was a big pyramid built in Trafalgar Square instead of a column for Nelson's column. And it turns out that it actually was, shortly after the Napoleonic Wars, architects did have a plan to build a pyramid in Trafalgar Square, which did not come about. I've found this independently from a website called Unbuilt Britain. It's about architecture that never was created, and they've reproduced it in animated form. There's a new organising team because sadly the Sam and Jean Wright have passed away now. Jean died a few years ago and Sam died earlier this year. However, his son Paul has taken over with his team to recreate this conference, to resurrect it.
Yeah.
Would you like this to become a regular thing?
Oh, definitely. I've just been talking to a couple of people where this is why I've been tapping, I'll probably tap yourself up as well as Tony, about taking it on the road.
I'll be glad to,
Yeah. It's the sort of thing that I think, we're trying to reach a larger audience, but sometimes you have to go to them come to you.
Yeah.
So if we can do something like that, and people I'm talking to have all expressed interest, so if that's the case, I'm trying to feel out now where we can do this.
Yeah.
Up and down the country from north to south. I mean, I'm not actually going to put on a road show. I don't have a word for that, but if I did, I definitely think that would be a good one.
Because it does bring together the aspects of spiritualism and suicide, the understanding of metaphysics and the energetics.
Author Guy Stephen Needler also explained to me from his perspective what aliens were.
It ties together the idea that we are souls or sentience and energy that we incarnate into a body, and that we don't just incarnate into these bodies. So it gives us a different idea of what we are. But I'm also going to look at the different types of alien or body type that we can incarnate into, different frequency levels. Going to look at the ways in which they travel around and where they come from as well. So it's like three areas there, and the genres of sort of body type or form factor that what we call aliens present themselves to us in, and why we see them and why we don't see them as well. They can come from different parts of the galaxy, other galaxies, and other frequencies, and those areas that are outside of this particular universe. So they can also come from the wider multiverse as well. There are definitely worldwide examples of interaction with some of these entities that are a higher frequency or our levels of frequency. And the thought process that they would cause mass unrest or frighten us all on a global perspective is one of the things that they try to control. On the other side, governments like to have power, don't they? So when they take these things, or they take technology from crash to craft, or the communication with other entities is withheld, it's because they want to have a level of governmental or country-based one-upmanship with another country on the planet, which is a pretty low-frequency thought process, because we should be sharing everything together, really. So it's almost like industrial espionage, isn't it? You know, they keep the secrets to themselves because they think it'll benefit them. But at the end of the day, most of it is trying to reverse engineer what's there and see how it works. And there are some things that we've got now that are a product of some of the technological ideas that have been gained from some of these pieces of technology that's been left behind, or whether they're crashed or still intact, or given to us, for example. I mean, think about how fast display technology has changed. That's a good example.
And the people behind it are absolutely mind-blowing.
Tony Topping returns to Probe, a more experienced speaker.
I remember the first talk I ever gave at Probe. I did not know how to use PowerPoint. My laptop went wonky. I was nearly in tears over it. And Sam said, no, it was actually a good talk. I want you to come back again and do it again with PowerPoint. And I did. And that's how I commenced my talks on the speaking circuit, really. And I've fond memories of being at Probe, so I'm so pleased that it's back up and running again. I've set up a little art company. I've got to say, Neil, though, that you are an artiste of the highest standard, and you've done work for me, and you are. I feel like I'm just a beginner at it all. But there again, on saying that, my digital art has helped convey my paranormal, or should I say exceptional human experiences to audiences. It helps convey and communicate the paranormal world. They get it visually, because you're kind of like communicating from another dimension into 3 dimensions. So that my art reflects what has happened to me, and it is quite a saga. And I feel that it's quite of an iconic legacy as well, you know. So there you go. I've been progressing with my book. It's been very difficult. I don't mind telling you that the going has been tough with it, because you're a targeted individual, and it can be very hard going to try and do that when you're targeted. But the book is complete. It had to be rewrote. You very kindly did it. You very kindly edited it, but it had to be all rewrote and redone again, which it has been. And now the book is good to go. Perhaps, Neil, when you look at it again, you'll notice that it's a vast improvement on what was previously written. It's good to go. It will be out in June. There are 97 illustrations of art in it, demonstrating my experiences and communications with extraterrestrials at the very sharp end. I think we're still witnessing the biggest cover-up in history at all. The thing is that the American Pentagon report on UAP, on UFOs and UAP, is repackaged. It's actually Project Condign. So in other words, the British MOD was saying exactly what the Pentagon report was saying a few years back. So the British were actually on top of this. The Pentagon then rehashed it and presented it again, as it were, with a bit more things added on. The truth of the matter is, I do feel that there is a cover-up. It's corrupt to the core, and some of us as contact experiencers who have had contact with this have seen some very strange goings-on behind the scenes that would indicate to us that, yes, there is some sort of cover-up going on. Dr. Steven Greer is quite correct, and he is correct, love him or hate him, when he says that there are evolved extraterrestrial civilizations out there. There is. Only the other day, this morning actually, I was looking at a US senator who was talking about the Space Force and the threat from space. But the nature of that threat is darkly comical. What they're saying, they don't know their arse from their elbow. They haven't open their hailing frequencies, because in place is a fascist cover-up regarding the fact that we are alone in the universe. And even then, Neil, if you do disclose and have contact with aliens, though, it won't be all plain sailing. So on the one hand, you've got Dr. Steven Greer saying that they are highly evolved, which they are. But on the other hand, Dr. Steven Greer then says that aliens don't abduct people. Aliens don't do bad things to people. Unfortunately, they do. Unfortunately, there is an element to this that is more demonic than alien. And it's something that the US government looked at in the 1950s, but it's equally something that they've lied about through their teeth to the public and to the world at large. All world governments have possibly lied about this, you see. There's no Ashtar command coming to save mankind.
About a month ago. So
As well as displaying my artwork and prints and that of my girlfriend's at the Probe conference, I was returning to present a sequel talk entitled More Encounters with Fairies, Ghosts and Spirits.
This is a condensed version of a talk that's normally 2 hours long, so I will kind of rattle through the subjects quite quickly, but if you want to kind of follow it in full, in the 1980s and 90s, and it's grown from that tiny little caravan into this huge place that does courses, and they work with nature beings and that kind of stuff. So if you're ever feeling a real hippie mood, check out the Findhorn Foundation. Now, we talked about strange creatures earlier on that seem to be half man, half beast. This gentleman here...
As well as myself doing a presentation, it was a welcome return for paranormal researcher Steve Mera.
Well, I was commemorating the fact that, we lost Sam not too long ago from Probe, and Paul, his son, contacted me and asked me if I'd like to come down and do a presentation. So I'm here. I'm back here. I've not been here now for about 6 years ago was the last time I was here. Been busy doing stuff all over the world, but I wouldn't miss up this opportunity to commemorate. I knew Sam for a very long time, before Probe was actually here at this event. It must be going back 25, 30, yeah, I'm showing my age now. But I'm here, I'm going to be doing a 2-hour presentation today, and I'm just pleased to take part in it all.
And everybody else was pleased to take part in it too, and it was a great weekend had by all. And hopefully the legacy of Sam and Jean Wright will be continued around the UK. Neil Geddes-Ward reporting for the Paranormal Peep Show on the Paranormal UK Radio Network at the Probe Conference in Lytham St Annes.